Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
Who doesn't love talking quarterbacks that Kyle Shanahan loves? Tanner Mordecai is now entering into his second season as the 49ers emergency quarterback. That's what he was last year. He was number 80 on the list last year. Now he's at number 60 and just hanging around. Up 20 spots on last year's roster countdown, and you've got people like Larry Krueger, shout out to the man Larry, who loves Tanner Mordecai. And, talked recently on a show we did together where there's like a decent, he said 5% chance, just whatever, they could win the number 2 job. And listen, as crazy as that sounds, and I do fully expect Mac Jones, who signed a 2-year, mega 4.7, not mega, but 4.7 million guaranteed money over 2 years, like he's going to be the number 2 quarterback. But when you look at Tanner Mordecai, stronger arm than any other quarterback on the 49ers roster. He ran a 4.46, like way faster than any quarterback on the 49ers roster. It's not even close. So, like, strong arm. He's got the speed. He's got the agility. He's got all those things. I get it. And I love the fact that they brought back Tanner, even though they drafted Curtis Rourke, who I think is going to get a true redshirt year. It's nice to have guys like this around. And whenever Kyle Shanahan likes you as a quarterback and invests time in you, only good things happen. You look at how much he's gotten people paid like Nick Mullins or C.J. Beathard or Jimmy Garoppolo. And you can even go back to way before, he even came to the 49ers with what he did at Atlanta, with what he did at Houston, with what he did at Cleveland, what he did at Washington. Like, if you are a quarterback that can stick around Kyle Shanahan's system, you're going to get paid eventually. And Tanner Mordecai, he's getting the education of a lifetime. He wears jersey number 4, 6'2", 218. He's built correctly. He's 25 years old, and what's funny is he turns 26 in November. He's 1 month older than Brock Purdy. And we forget how young Brock Purdy is. So that you've got you add in Mac Jones and Curtis Rourke. They're all about the same damn age. And so you've got 4 quarterbacks in the room that are all 24, 25, 26, 27. Speed's off the charts, 163, 10-yard split. He doesn't have the elite burst speed that Brock Purdy has. He's got much more of the top-end get up and go type speed. So, again, the initial burst isn't great, but, man, that top-end speed is off the charts. Ran a 7-flat 3-cone. That's better than Debo. 36.5-inch vertical, elite. 9'11 broad, good. Like, he wasn't invited to the Combine, but if he was, he would have been a Combine star. Now, he's a Texas boy, Waco born and raised, went to Midway High School, and won a state title there. And on a team, he led that team over South Lake Carroll, who was the heavy favorites. And you look back at that Waco Midway team, man, it was Tanner Mordecai. They had, KT Livingston went to K-State, Khalil Houghton, he went on to Oklahoma, but that was it. They were playing a national powerhouse, legendary Texas school that's just flooded with talent. And Tanner Mordecai just went out there and willed his way to a championship. It's pretty cool. And his college career is, man, insane. Goes to OU, loses the starting battle to Spencer Rattler, who was the number 1 recruit, whatever else. He lost that job. Then Spencer Rattler, who's now quarterback for the Saints, lost his job at Oklahoma to Caleb Williams, who's now the quarterback at Chicago, right? So anyway, he loses out that job, transfers to SMU, goes there and puts up hellacious numbers, 72 touchdowns versus 22 interceptions, had 13 games with more than 300 passing yards. I mean, that was the whole Danny Gray, all that kind of stuff that was going to Rashee Rice. That was under Tanner Mordecai. Then, he didn't get good feedback from the scouts at SMU and chose to join Luke Fickell at Wisconsin to try to up his stock value for the draft. Didn't really work, and he wanted to prove he could do, this kind of air raid whatever in the Big Ten. Didn't go well. Played 10 games at Wisconsin, threw for 2,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Team went 7-6. Didn't happen like what he hoped would happen, and as a result, went undrafted. The 49ers were the ones that got him. And now let's step even further back and look into Tanner Mordecai's family. Born and raised in Waco, grew up with a family full of athletes. Grandfather was a pro tennis player. And, man, he got a lot of publicity. Earl Campbell, Tyler Rose, award semifinalist. Davey O'Brien, award semifinalist. You name it. All this different stuff. And just kept building up, and team captain at several places, SMU and then Wisconsin. Tough as hell. Like, this guy, he has that kind of CJ Beathard mentality in the pocket where I don't care if there's an all-out blitz, and I don't care if a defensive tackle is about to just destroy me and plant me in the ground. I'm going to stay in the pocket, and I'm going to do what I got to do. And that has something that has permeated from high school and went with them to, OU didn't get a lot of playing time. SMU, you saw it a lot. In Wisconsin, you saw it. Like, he will take a beating. He is tough as hell. And Shanahan loves that. That's like one of his favorite traits in quarterbacks. He was on the practice squad all last year and got paid to be there. He had a $125,000 guaranteed signing bonus as an undrafted free agent last year. 49ers didn't do that this year. Like, they paid last year. That wallet clamped down a lot this year. But Tanner Mordecai, never got activated and, has a 1-year, $840,000 deal this year. No guarantees this year. Walked away with $350,000 last year. Being on the practice squad and running against starters and, just being a practice dummy and all that stuff. Eventually, hopefully, you're hoping he's going to get paid, but it's not going to happen this year. So last year, practice squad the entire year, but he did play a lot in the preseason. He went 6 of 10 in his passing situations in the preseason, 103 yards. All 6 of his passes completed were first downs. That's huge. Did have 1 sack, but finished with a 95.0 passer rating. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Solid. Not great, but this is a developmental, long-term play of a high upside quarterback, strong arm, and doesn't understand when to pull back the howitzer in crazy speed, 4.4 speed, right, as a quarterback. Here's Dane Brugler of the Athletics write-up. He had him rated as his 25th quarterback in last year's draft. Dane Brugler says athleticism, Dane Brugler had him as his 25th. This is our write-up of him. Athleticism, experience, ball placement are his strengths. Layers the ball well and can make all the throws. Footwork is a major issue. Looks like backyard football too often. Has a lot of zips on short passes. Needs to learn when to take the heat off. Plays fearless. Takes a lot of huge hits. Super streaky, both good and bad. Jeff Garcia light type quarterback. So just one of those gritty, we're going to get it done, whether it's with my feet, my arm, whatever. Just, he's a punching quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, not a boxer, not a lot of strategy, just goes out there and just slugs it out. And he's going to walk off the field completely dirty and just like limp into the locker room, but he's going to leave everything he has out there. Every single time this dude suits up, he's just got to get the chance. Now, this year, he has more of a chance of playing time than I think he will next year because the 49ers drafted Curtis Rourke out of Indiana in the 7th round. Well, he's overcoming an ACL surgery that took place after the college football season ended. So I think this is going to be a true redshirt year for Curtis Rourke. And so you've got Brock Purdy, obviously. He's the quarterback for the future. Mac Jones has a 2-year deal. And then you have Tanner Mordecai as your quarterback 3 this year. Well, there's no competition for him this year because Curtis Rourke's going to be on the PUP or the NFI because his injury took place before he got drafted. So Tanner Mordecai is quarterback 3 this year. Next year, there's going to be a fight. It's going to be Tanner Mordecai if he gets brought back or Curtis Rourke. So, this is the year, whether through training camp, joint practices, preseason competition, where Tanner Mordecai gets to put his tape out there. That's his audition for the rest of the NFL, hoping he gets paid after this year. And if he's going to make the 53-man roster as that number 3 quarterback, Shanahan will always keep 3 quarterbacks. But next year, when his contract expires with us this year after being on the practice squad again, that's where it's going to be, hey, could he do that Nick Mullins type whatever where he goes and competes with a rookie quarterback and that's the route that Tanner Mordecai is on. And God forbid we do see snaps of Tanner Mordecai this year. That means Brock Purdy's injured. That means Mac Jones is injured. Not where you want to be. But the athleticism's fun. It's easy to get behind. And you see, I'm at all these training camp practices, and you see, they'll do the 4 quarterback warm-up every single – they do it the same way, where there's just centers and quarterbacks, and they go through, just their snap count cadence, and they just walk through, okay, play action, roll out, throw it to a coach that's in the hook to curl zone. And you see all 4 of the quarterbacks throw the ball at the same time. One of them is not like the others, and it's Tanner Mordecai every time. That ball rifles out. I mean, it flies out. And when you saw last year with Josh Dobbs, whenever he finally got playing time, and like a couple wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, like bobble the ball because it's like, whoa, we're not used to the ball coming out this quick. That's Tanner Mordecai. So can he learn, kind of pull back and, allow that rocket arm to show itself when it's supposed to, as opposed to the layups and zipping it in there all the time? We'll see. But Tanner Mordecai is going to be around this year. He's going to make the 53. And so we've got him at 60, but the only way he plays is if there's not 1 but 2 injuries to the quarterbacks. But, hey, we've seen that before in the 49ers Kyle Shanahan scheme. You do have Jake Brindle back. You do have Colton McKivitz back. You are paying your left guard, Ben Bartch, who's probably going to start $1 million totally guaranteed. So 60% of your offensive line is budgetary. You're trying to bargain plays at 3 of those. You never know in this Shanahan scheme behind this offensive line, but you do have 40% of your offensive line that's amazing. You have Trent Williams, you have Dominique Pooney, and you have not 1 but 2 elite blocking tight ends in George Kittle and Luke Farrell now. That should help considerably. So we'll have to see how it goes. Hopefully we don't see Tanner Mordecai play in the regular season, but it's going to be fun to see number 4 out there during training camp in the preseason because he's going to get more reps this year than he had last year. And I'm hoping he shines in that and only great things come to him in the future. For us in the 49ers Rush team, we'll just keep counting them down.